You've seen their faces on screen. Their names are etched in awards, premieres, and unforgettable performances. But before the stardom came sleepovers. Before the red carpets came hand-me-downs. Before the fame there was family. These aren't just Hollywood stars. They're siblings. And their most defining roles weren't played in front of the camera, but beside each other, behind closed doors, in moments no one saw but them. One, Dakota Elle Fanning. Dakota Fanning became a household name at 7, earning a Screen Actors Guild nomination for I Am Sam, 2001, the youngest nominee in history. She followed with powerful roles in Man on Fire, War of the Worlds, and Twilight, commanding Hollywood before she turned 15. Elle started in Dakota's shadow, often cast as her younger self. But instead of chasing the same spotlight, she quietly carved her own lane first in indie gems like Somewhere and Super 8, then into the mainstream with Maleficent, 2014. As Empress Catherine in The Great, Elle earned Emmy and Golden Globe nods, proving she wasn't following footsteps, she was building her own empire. Despite early comparisons, there's never been rivalry. Elle once said, "She's always been the best big sister." 2 sisters, 2 stars, no competition, just a rare kind of bond, the kind where one shines, and the other smiles, then steps forward and shines too. Elizabeth Olsen, the Olsen twins. She thought she would never be an actress. While Mary-Kate and Ashley became global sensations at the age of 9, Elizabeth stood backstage, quietly watching the light dim their childhoods. She saw the weariness behind success. She saw the times her sisters were hounded, not allowed to make mistakes. And then she stepped back. Not because she was afraid, but because she wanted a different path. Elizabeth chose the theater, chose New York, chose the small auditorium. But then Martha Marcy May Marlene changed everything. She was no longer the Olsen twins' little sister. She was Elizabeth. And in WandaVision, she was the soul of the entire Marvel Universe. Not everyone leaves their families to rebel. Some leave to find themselves. And sometimes, the bravest thing is to step into the light, not to surpass someone, but to light up yourself. Have you ever taken a different path from your siblings just to find yourself? Tell us below your story. Might inspire someone else watching. 3. Alexander Bill Skarsgård. Born into Sweden's most iconic acting family, Alexander and Bill Skarsgård were always expected to shine. But their brilliance came from different stars. Alexander, the elder, rose first, tall, magnetic, impossible to ignore. He played charm like a symphony. From the brooding Eric in True Blood to the cruel Perry in Big Little Lies, he made darkness elegant. Awards followed. So did global recognition. Bill came later and quieter. He didn't seduce the audience. He unsettled them. His transformation into Pennywise it wasn't just terrifying, it was artfully alien. The stillness in his gaze, the weight of silence. He found beauty in the bizarre. What makes their story remarkable isn't rivalry. It's how they both mastered the shadows, one with polish, one with presence. Alexander once said, "We're so different. People don't even realize we're brothers. I like that." Some siblings compete, others coexist. These two? They redefine what it means to share the same blood but carve entirely different ghosts. 4. Jeff Beau Bridges. Hollywood doesn't often allow room for 2 legends from the same family, but the Bridges brothers made it look effortless. Beau came first, calm, deliberate, a craftsman. He won Emmys and Golden Globes not by chasing headlines, but by disappearing into his roles. He was the working actor's actor. Jeff? He wandered more. Drifted between cult classics and Oscar campaigns. The Big Lebowski made him iconic. Crazy Heart made him golden. He brought soul to every frame, messy, magnetic, unforgettable. They weren't competing, they were coexisting. In The Fabulous Baker Boys, they played brothers on screen, and the line between fiction and reality blurred. Where Beau was steady, Jeff was spiritual. Where one stayed behind the curtain, the other danced through it. And yet, decades later, they still speak about each other with the same word, admiration. Do you and your sibling live two different lives, but still get each other completely? Share your duo below. 5. Abigail Spencer Breslin. They were two of Hollywood's brightest child stars at the same time, in the same family. Spencer hit first, sharing the screen with Bruce Willis in The Kid, 2000. Then charming audiences in The Santa Claus 2 and The Cat in the Hat. He was funny, quick, grounded. Then came Abigail. At 10, she stole the world's heart in Little Miss Sunshine, 2006, earning an Oscar nomination and global recognition. She followed with Signs, My Sister's Keeper, Zombieland, not just cute, but complex. They defended each other. Childhood stardom is a storm, but they had each other as anchors. As they grew older, the spotlight shifted. Spencer stepped back. Abigail evolved. Their paths diverged. Quietly, no scandal, no fallout, just time moving on. But ask Abigail today, and she'll tell you, he's still the best big brother. Some stars shine briefly, some keep burning, but the brightest lights, often, are the ones you remember growing up beside. 6. Shawn Ashmore, twins. Identical twins. Same face, same voice, same passion for performance. But that's where the symmetry ends. Shawn stepped into the spotlight first, as Iceman in the X-Men films. Cool, heroic, composed, he slid into blockbuster roles with ease. Aaron? He took the road less traveled and built a name through television. Smallville, Warehouse 13, Killjoys. Less glitz, more grit. He wasn't the superhero, he was the heart, the hacker, the edge. They've been confused for each other more times than they can count. In one casting, a director complimented Aaron on his X-Men performance, a role he never played. Their response? Laughter. Instead of resentment, they've found freedom. Freedom to pursue different paths, to say no to comparison, and yes to self-definition. Where Shawn chased spectacle, Aaron chased story. And in the reflection, you don't see rivalry, just range. Sometimes being twins doesn't mean being alike. It means learning how to stand beside someone without standing in their way. Which pair surprised you most so far? Drop their names in the comments, and let's see whose story really stuck with you. 7. Domhnall Brian Gleason. Their father, Brendan Gleason, is an Irish acting legend, fierce, funny, unforgettable. For Domhnall and Brian, greatness wasn't a goal. It was the family business. But legacy is tricky. It can lift you or label you. Domhnall leaned into versatility. He was soulful in About Time, cerebral in Ex Machina, commanding in Star Wars, and quietly devastating in Brooklyn and The Revenant. Brian, meanwhile, chose grit unforgettable as Jimmy McCavern in Peaky Blinders. Raw in Love, hate sharp in Logan Lucky. They didn't ride their father's fame. They earned their own ground in opposite corners of the same craft. Off-screen, they speak of each other with quiet pride. No headlines, no feuds, no flash. Just two brothers, proving that blood doesn't define you, choices do. They carry their name like a compass, not to follow but to know where they came from. 8. Hilary Duff. Hilary Duff became the face of a generation. Lizzie McGuire turned her into a teen idol, and hits like A Cinderella Story and Cheaper by the Dozen made her a household name. She sang, she starred, she sparkled, and behind her, just out of frame but never out of reach, was Haley. An actress in her own right, Seventh Heaven, Broadway. A songwriter, a creative force. Haley didn't chase the same spotlight. She chose to build it, steady it, protect it. She co-wrote songs on Hilary's albums. She was there through tours, heartbreaks, comebacks. There was no envy, no headline-worthy feud, just quiet loyalty, the kind rarely seen in families, let alone in Hollywood. They still travel together, cook together, post goofy selfies. Haley once said, "Being her big sister has always been my favorite role." Not every story needs a twist. Some are just about showing up again and again for someone you love. Sometimes, the sibling behind the spotlight is the real hero. Tag someone who's always had your back quietly, patiently, and always. 9. Nat Alex Wolf. They started with fake rock stardom on the Naked Brothers Band, a Nickelodeon series that was half joke, half jam session. Nat wrote songs. Alex played drums. They were charming, offbeat, and absolutely themselves. But the kid band label didn't stick. They didn't want it to. Nat shifted into indie films and YA hits Paper Towns, The Fault in Our Stars, Death Note. He brought heart and edge. Alex, meanwhile, went darker and deeper. His role in Hereditary, 2018, was raw, terrifying, unforgettable. He chose discomfort over popularity, and it worked. Their careers grew apart but never away. They still write music together, still tour as Nat Alex Wolf, still laugh like kids who never forget what it was like to be weird together on screen. Some siblings drift. These two just evolve in different directions, on the same map. 10. Jason, Jeremy London, twins. In the 90s, Jason and Jeremy London were rising stars, identical twins, with matching charm and matching ambition. Jason starred in Dazed and Confused, 1993, the cool heartthrob of a cult classic. Jeremy shined on TV in Party of Five and Seventh Heaven, grounded, reliable, quietly intense. But Hollywood isn't always kind to shared faces. Casting directors got confused. Headlines blurred identities. One day, Jason opened a tabloid and saw a scandal with Jeremy's face and his name. Fame didn't split them. Life did. Jeremy battled addiction. Jason faced personal struggles of his own. Roles faded. Distance grew. And the bond, once seamless, became strained. They stopped appearing together. Interviews grew quiet, but in rare mentions, there was no bitterness, only memory. Some brothers stay in sync, others drift apart. But the story doesn't end there. Because even in silence, brotherhood lingers not in the spotlight, but in the spaces it leaves behind. Not all sibling bonds are perfect. Some fade, some break, but some still linger. If that reminds you of someone, maybe it's time to reach out. The camera stopped. The crowds moved on. But some roles don't need scripts. They're written in kitchen whispers, in car rides with no words, in the way we show up, again and again when no one's watching. So maybe the most unforgettable stories aren't the ones we saw on screen, but the ones we lived with, a sibling, or someone who felt like one. Which story reminded you of someone? Don't scroll past this, send it to them before the spotlight fades again.